Picture this. You get fired from one of the world's most powerful AI companies for telling the truth, and then you end up controlling billions of their investors' money. Sounds like fiction, right? Well, this is exactly what happened to Leopold Aschenbrenner, and his story is about to blow your mind. This isn't just about corporate drama. This is about a 23-year-old genius who went from OpenAI insider to their biggest threat, who now manages nearly $2 billion that partly comes from the very people who fund his former employer. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife, but what about the implications for the AI industry? Well, they're absolutely explosive. So who is Leopold Aschenbrenner? It's a name you need to remember, because this kid is reshaping the entire AI landscape, whether Silicon Valley likes it or not. Born in Berlin, he wasn't your typical teenager. While most 15-year-olds are worried about homework, Leopold was already crushing it at Columbia University. By 19, he graduated as valedictorian after studying economics, mathematics, and statistics. But here's where it gets interesting. He wasn't just another academic overachiever. This guy was already thinking about global risks and humanity's future, diving deep into the effective altruism movement. And yes, before you ask, he was connected to FTX through their Future Fund team. You know, the same FTX that spectacularly imploded when Sam Bankman-Fried turned out to be running one of the biggest frauds in financial history. But unlike SBF, Leopold saw the writing on the wall and got out before the ship sank completely. In 2023, OpenAI came calling, and Leopold joined their super alignment team, the group supposedly working to make sure artificial general intelligence doesn't decide to wipe us all out. Little did they know they were bringing in someone who would become their biggest nightmare. Here's where the story takes a wild turn. In April 2023, hackers broke into OpenAI systems and stole sensitive data. Did OpenAI tell the public? Of course not. But Leopold? He saw this as the canary in the coal mine. He wrote a scathing memo to OpenAI's board, basically telling them their security was a joke. Egregiously insufficient were his exact words. He warned them that foreign actors were actively hunting for their most valuable secrets, and OpenAI was making it embarrassingly easy for them. Now, you might think a company would appreciate an employee pointing out massive security vulnerabilities. You'd be wrong. OpenAI's leadership was furious. Not at the security failures, but at Leopold for having the audacity to go straight to the board. HR gave him a warning, which should have been his first clue about what kind of company he was really working for. But OpenAI wasn't done with him yet. They needed a cleaner way to get rid of this troublemaker, so they found their excuse when Leopold shared a brainstorming document with some external AI researchers. This is completely normal in the AI world. Researchers share ideas all the time. But OpenAI twisted this into a leak allegation and used it as grounds for termination. Leopold claims they told him privately that the board memo was the real reason, but officially they went with the leak story. Classic corporate move. Fire the whistleblower, blame it on something else. And that's when Leopold Aschenbrenner was unleashed on the world. 2 months after getting the boot, he dropped a 165-page bombshell called Situational Awareness: The Decade Ahead. This wasn't just any research paper. This was a direct challenge to the entire AI establishment, and it spread through Silicon Valley like wildfire. Leopold laid out a timeline that should terrify and excite you in equal measure. AGI by 2027. AI systems outperforming college graduates by 2026. Superintelligence by 2030. We're not talking decades here. We're talking about the next few years completely transforming everything we know about intelligence, work, and human civilization. But Leopold didn't stop at predictions. He painted a picture of trillion-dollar AI clusters, massive industrial efforts that would make today's tech infrastructure look like toys. He warned about national security agencies getting deeply involved, and most importantly, he stressed that we're nowhere near ready for what's coming. The super alignment problem? It's not some distant concern. It's an immediate crisis that could determine whether humanity survives the AI revolution. The essay made Leopold famous, but he was out of a job and needed steady income. So what did this 23-year-old do? He started a hedge fund. Not just any hedge fund. He named it Situational Awareness after his viral essay. The audacity is a wonder to behold. Here's the kicker. Despite having zero professional investment experience, Leopold now manages about $2 billion, an amount that will likely grow. And get this, some of that money comes from the very venture capital firms and institutional investors who have poured money into OpenAI. The company that fired him for telling the truth is now indirectly funding his new operation. Talk about poetic justice. The hedge fund's own investor list reads like a who's who of tech royalty. Stripe co-founders Patrick and John Collison, former GitHub CEO Nat Friedman, and Daniel Gross, the serial investor behind companies like Uber, Instacart, and Perplexity AI. These aren't small-time players. These are the titans who decide which technologies will get a leg up over others. The fund's strategy is brilliantly simple and devastatingly effective. They're betting big on the companies that will win the AI revolution: chip manufacturers, data center operators, energy infrastructure providers, while simultaneously shorting the industries that AI will demolish. It's a double-edged approach that captures gains from AI winners while profiting from the losers' collapse. And the results? In the first half of 2025 alone, the fund delivered a staggering 47% return. Compare that to the S&P 500's measly 6%, and you start to understand why investors are throwing money at this kid. Leopold calls his fund a brain trust on AI, but it's really much more than that. It's a weapon pointed straight at the heart of the AI establishment. The fund doesn't just invest in obvious plays either. They're backing Anthropic, the AI safety company that's positioning itself as the responsible alternative to OpenAI. They're finding promising startups before they become household names. And most provocatively, they're identifying which established companies are about to become roadkill in the AI stampede. But Leopold isn't alone in this game. The AI investment boom has spawned a whole ecosystem of similar funds. Turion operates under Point72 Asset Management, backed by billionaire Steve Cohen. Value-Aligned Research Advisors is another player managing around $2 billion. But none of them have Leopold's unique combination of insider knowledge, prophetic vision, and personal vendetta against the AI establishment. The question isn't whether these funds will make money, because they already are. The question is, what happens when the next generation of AI experts control billions of dollars and have the power to make or break entire companies with their investment decisions? Leopold Aschenbrenner went from fired whistleblower to financial powerhouse in less than 2 years. He's betting his reputation and his investors' money on a future where AGI arrives sooner than anyone expects and transforms everything faster than anyone is prepared for. Whether he's a visionary or just another overhyped tech bro remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: he's not going away quietly. The AI revolution is coming whether we're ready or not, and Leopold Aschenbrenner is positioning himself right at the center of it all. The kid who got fired for telling the truth might just end up having the last laugh. And considering he's still in his early 20s, this story is just getting started. For more insights into what's next in AI, hit that like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.